Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Mental Health Monday. Mental Health Monday is a moment to just pause, reset, and remind ourselves that mental strength is just as important as physical strength. We grind hard, but we also take care of our minds. Happy Mental Health Monday. Today is about checking in, not just with your body, but with your mind. Pressure, stress, expectations, life, it all adds up. And that's okay. You're not weak for feeling it. You're human. We all feel it too. See, being mentally strong, right? It doesn't mean never struggling. It means acknowledging the struggle and choosing to push forward. In a healthy way, if you've been feeling overwhelmed, tired, frustrated, or off, just take a moment and pause, relax, breathe, rest. You're not behind, you're not broken, you're just simply growing. See, it's about having progress over perfection. Nobody in this world is perfect, but you can take those necessary steps to make progress from where you're feeling that you're overwhelmed, when you're feeling tired, when you're frustrated, or you're just feeling off. And when you take that moment to pause and breathe, make some progress. It's okay to walk away and come back. It's okay to feel the way you're feeling, because when you're making progress and putting that over perfection, you're simply growing in the right direction. You're recognizing what wasn't working versus what is working. See, taking that step back to pause and breathe, it allows you to build up that confidence that you need to have. And you don't need to compare yourself to someone else, because the journey and the season that you are in your life is completely different than the person to your left and your right. So let them judge you all they want. Because at the end of the day, your journey is your journey, and you can grow from your journey by simply having the confidence to make that progress that you need to get better. It's about how you handle the pressure. See, as athletes, as coaches, we are put in a position where we are under a lot of stress and pressure. And we are under that stress and pressure because of the expectations that are put in front of us. See, as an athlete, as a sports enthusiast, the expectations is set really high. We are expected to perform at a high level. We're expected to be good at what we do because we get paid X amount of money. But it's about how you handle that pressure and how you build on that pressure to build on that progress. See, what I really not even failed to realize, but I find very interesting, is that society tells us that if we ask for help, we're not strong enough, and that when we ask for help, that we are weak. But I'm here to tell you and to remind you that when you ask for help, you are strong. You are asking for help because you want to grow. You are asking for help because you want to see progress. You are asking for help because you are confident in the ability to grow and to get over the feeling of being overwhelmed, that feeling of being tired, that feeling of being frustrated, that feeling of being off. Ask for help, because asking for help is the strength that you need to grow. I don't want anyone to try to be perfect. I want everyone to perfect that progress. I want everyone to take an understanding of where they are in their life and learn from it. See, I was always taught growing up to walk away from situations, take a breath, and then come back. See, when it involves your mental health and you're struggling, it's okay to take those slow breaths. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. Breathe in and then breathe out. But you inhale through your nose for 4 seconds and just count in your head. You start the inhale. And then you start the exhale. And do that 3 different times and see how that is going to help with your progress. As athletes, you're going to be under stress and pressure in a game, whether it's basketball, whether it's football, whether it's baseball, hockey, soccer, whatever sport you play, you're going to be under that pressure and that stress. But you got to learn how to take those breaths in the heat of a moment while you're on the court. It is okay to run up down the court and take those deep breaths. It is possible to do so as well, right? But I want you guys to ask yourself one simple question. And that question is, how are you really doing? Write the answer down. But how are you truly doing today? And don't just say, oh, I'm good, because that's the answer that everybody gives. I'm good. No. How are you really doing? How are you really doing? Write that answer down. Because if you go and someone asks you, and ask someone else that question, how are you really doing today? And if they give you that answer, oh, I'm good, I'm good. Nah, are you really good? Or are you just beating around the bush and giving me an answer that I want to hear? Because if you're not good, speak up. Because I can't read your mind. The person asking you that question can't read your mind. So truly ask yourself, how are you doing today? Are you struggling? Where are you at in life? Where do you want to be? How do you expect to get there? Do you need to go talk to someone to repair a broken relationship? But when you ask yourself that question and you ask someone else that question, actually listen to that answer. And that's why I said write it down. Keep a journal. It's okay. But ask yourself, truly ask yourself, how are you doing today? Right? Because as I said earlier, we come into a time where we get told that we can't express our feelings. We come into a time where we get told that if we express ourselves that we're weak. We're in a time where we're constantly feeling overwhelmed, tired, stressed, off, exhausted. Pressure is on us. But what does that progress look like to get over that hump of feeling like you're broken, that you're down, that you're worthless? How do you focus on your mental health? Because something that I've always learned and that I was always taught growing up is it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to show your emotions and express how you truly feel. But you truly have to acknowledge that you are struggling. And you have to find a healthy stress reliever a positive stress reliever that's going to allow you to grow and get over the feeling that you're feeling. For me, this started a little bit around, like the end of 2020, right when COVID became like this big thing, and I didn't know what else I could do. I started feeling this pain in my chest, and I would go to the doctors. I would have EMTs check me out, and they say, "Oh, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine." And this EMT told me, he goes, "You're feeling stressed, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're having these anxiety attacks." And he said, "I'm challenging you to find a healthy, positive stress reliever, something you can do when you feel stressed and positive. That way you can release that tension in your body." And what I used to do was, when I felt like that tension was just building up, I would go for a run. I would go for a walk. I would go to the gym. I would shoot some hoops. I would go take some pictures uh, on the camera and just do things that I like to do. I'm not an artist at all, but I started to pick up like a sketchbook and just draw random stuff, or at least attempt to draw random stuff, because, again, I'm not an artist, and I'm not good at it. But that's when I started to realize I needed to ask for help. I started to ask for prayer. I started to ask for people to just surround themselves around me and keep me accountable. And I asked those people to help show me different ways to not be anxious, show me different ways to not really feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders and that I got to do everything to try to fix the problems of this world. And I realized I don't have to do that, because it's not my problem. I don't have to be in a position to fix the world's problems. But what I did find was, during those times I was struggling to sleep. Those times I was trying to juggle school, military, sports, relationships. I was trying to do everything. So I wasn't getting rest. I was under an extreme amount of pressure. But once I started doing those things that I felt and called a healthy, positive stress reliever, it started to change my mindset. It started to point me in the right direction. And then when I started my basketball team, I started to hear my athletes talk about mental health and how their mental health wasn't the same, and how their mental health was being affected. And I've been through similar situations that they were going through. So I got to give them some advice and really teach them and tell them the experience that I've had. And I find it interesting too that God puts us in positions and places to where we can help other people learn from our past experiences, but also we can learn from other people while they're in that same position that we are currently in as well. See, I find it very, very interesting that we don't like to talk about what's really going on inside of our heads. Maybe, and this is a big maybe if we actually talked truly and freely about what is going on in our heads, we can get somewhere. Because, again, we are humans. We're not robots. We can't read each other's minds. And I want to challenge each and every one of you guys that are tuning in today to write down a list of questions that you can ask someone that is going to allow them to be open, to be vulnerable, and to be honest, not only with themselves, but with you. And it starts with that one question of, how are you doing today? And then truly listen to the answer that is being provided. And then if they ask you the same question, truly answer the same thing. Try to relate, try to sympathize with them, and then see how you, not saying fix their issues or their problems, but see how you can walk side by side with them. So when they're feeling this way again, they know they got somebody they can count on. See, it's really challenging too, because a lot of people believe that they don't have no one that they can count on or go to or talk to when they are feeling overwhelmed and stressed. And like I said, that first question to write down and ask someone and ask yourself is, how are you really doing today? Right? Another question you can ask them and write down is, what's been weighing on your mind lately? Another question you can write down is, what's your energy level been like this week? Have you been motivated? Have you been feeling like you just don't want to get out of bed and you can sleep all day? How is your energy levels this week? Is today feeling heavier or lighter than most days? And what's one word that describes how you're feeling right now? Those are just some quick questions you can write down. You can ask someone. It's a general check-in question. It allows you to get the conversation going, but it also allows those people that you're talking to be vulnerable, to be open, and to be honest, right? If you want to dig a little bit deeper, like if you really want to dig a little bit deeper, ask the questions of, what's been stressing you out the most lately? Have you been feeling overwhelmed or anxious at all? What's been something that's frustrating you lately? Do you feel like you've had space to process your emotions? What emotions have been showing up the most for you? Now, these questions, right? It allows you to check on their well-being, their overall well-being. It allows you to check yourself too. Write these questions down. Ask these questions to yourself, and then go find someone and ask them the same questions to see where they're at. Right? If you're at work, if you're at school, or something that has to do with sports, right? How are you how are you feeling mentally about your responsibilities right now? Do you feel pressure that others might not see? Are you hiding that pressure? What part of your routine feels the most draining? Are expectations, yours or others, feeling heavy? And what's been mentally tough for you lately? Some more questions you can ask is, do you feel supported by the people around you? Is there something you wish people understood about what you've been going through? Who do you usually lean on when things feel heavy? Is there anything you've been holding in? Would it help if you talked it through with someone right now? What's been helping you cope lately? Have you been getting enough rest, mentally and physically? What helps you rest when your mind feels loud? What's one thing you've done recently just for yourself? How are you taking care of yourself? That is one of the most important questions, because if you can't take care of yourself, how can you expect to help and take care of someone else if you're not taking care of yourself first? If you don't love yourself first, how can you expect to love someone else? What do you need more of right now? And then we start to look at some more reflection questions, right? So, what's been challenging you the most this season of life? What have you learned about yourself recently? What's something that you're extremely proud of handling lately? What feels harder than it should right now? What would feel better look like to you? Have you been feeling stuck or hopeless at all? Are there days where it feels hard to keep going? Have you felt alone even around others? Is there something you're afraid of to say out loud? How can I best support you right now? As you write some of these questions down, as you ask yourself these questions, don't try to ask all these questions at one time, but read the room. Start with one question. After you start asking that one question and you start the conversation is going, ask another question. See where the conversation is going. Try to stick to at least two, three at most, and keep the conversation going. Talk about your experiences. Let them talk about their experiences as well. See, it's interesting too because you ask these questions, but you need to listen to the responses more than you talk. Don't rush to try to fix someone's problems. Your presence, just being there, it matters. And while they're expressing their feelings and you guys are coming to an end of the conversation, thank them for being open and honest with you. Thank them for trusting you to be the person that they came to voice their concerns about their mental health and to voice their concerns about their life and where they are right now. Because, like I said earlier, your season of life and where you are in life right now is completely different than the person that is across from you, that is next to you, the person that is sitting on your left and your right. So don't always make it about you. Listen, it is okay to listen. But it goes back to what I was talking about earlier, right? Is that we need to acknowledge when we are struggling. Because if you are feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling tired, if you're frustrated or you're just feeling off, and you feel like you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, just pause, relax, breathe. Because it's going to be all right. You're not broken. You're not damaged. You're not behind the curve. You're just growing. You're learning from your past mistakes and you're growing. You're moving in a direction that you need to be moving in order to better fit the season of life that you're in right now. See, when it comes to my athletes and they tell me, hey, I'm struggling, What I do, I listen. Hey, let's talk about it. What's really going on? I, I'll be open and honest with you. I had an athlete that came to me that really loves basketball and really loves playing a sport, and was telling me that he was falling out of love with the game of basketball. And I asked him why. Did he feel that way? And what he told me was, in a nutshell, was that the pressure, the stress, everyday life, work, and then coming to play basketball, a game that he loved, it just didn't seem fun anymore. And he said that his mental health was suffering because he was under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, because the game that he loved so much just didn't seem fun anymore. And that he didn't know if he would ever be able to play the game of basketball again. And see, that right there, it stuck with me as I listened to him talk. And I'm just like, man, we get told to go out and find a career that we're going to love doing. Because when we go out and find that career that we love doing, it won't even seem like a job. It'll just seem like you're just waking up and doing something you love doing. And you're going to find people that you can hang out with, that you can laugh with, you can joke with, and it just makes going to work so much more than work. But to think and to know that this player loved the game of basketball so much that he was ready to give it up to keep his mental health intact. And by the end of that conversation, we got him to continue to play basketball to help take some of that stress off of his plate so that way he can play the game that he loved so much. But just imagine that there are people out there that will sacrifice the clothes on their back, the roof over their head, to see you get ahead in life. There are people out there that will take the food off their table and give to you before they even eat because they care truly about who you are as a person. And they want to see you succeed before they see themselves succeed. And see, it's funny because those people don't do it for the recognition. Those people don't do it for the honor or glory. Those people do it because they genuinely, truly care about who you are as a person. And we all have people in our lives that do this very exact same thing, that will take the clothes off their back, the roof over their head, the food off the table to provide for you so you can have. But then we get this mindset that, like, oh, we're not good enough, or hey, I don't deserve this, or why is this happening to me right now? And then you start to get a little bit of doubt. But you need to continue to have that confidence. Build your confidence up. Don't compare yourself to anyone. There's no need to compare yourself to anyone. It is okay to ask for help because asking for help means that you're strong. It does not mean that you're weak at all. Ask those questions and listen, truly listen to the response that is being given. If you're just feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or whatever the case may be, use the 3 breath rest method. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. You're going to breathe in through your nose, hold for 4 seconds. Sorry, you're going to breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Then you're going to hold for 2 seconds. And then you're going to exhale. You can do this before your practices. You can do this before your games. You can do this before you go to work. You can do this on your lunch break. You can do this when you're feeling overwhelmed and feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. See, it's okay to feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. It's okay to feel like you don't have the answers to everything, because you shouldn't have the answers to everything. You don't need to know the answers to everything. It doesn't even matter what the person even says about you. It matters what you say about you and who you are as a person. That's what matters the most. How are you showing self-love? How are you taking care of yourself first? Sometimes that may seem hard because, you got a family you got to take care of, you got the kids, you got your spouse, and it just may seem like, again, like the weight of the world is on your shoulders and you might not have the answer to self-love. But you got to find time in your busy schedule to just take yourself away from the chaos and the heat of the moment and everything that's going on. Relax and breathe and just know that everything's going to be okay. Again, 90% of us that are tuning in right now work a 9-to-5 job for someone else. And you become stressed, you become overwhelmed, you become to the point where you hate your job and you don't want to work there no more. You start to grow gray hair and you start to be a different person that you normally never was. But when you take that time away from work, that time away from the stress, that time and spend it with your family, just think how you can change and how you're being molded. Prayer, pray, talk to God. Let God hear what's on your heart, what's on your mind. If you think you don't know how to pray, that's okay. Write it down. Write it down and give it to God. But take those questions that I started listing off, write them down. And I'm challenging you guys to go find a person to talk to that you may not even know, random person, and ask them, how's your day going? How are you doing? And truly ask them and listen to what they're saying. Because if they say, oh, it's good, and ask them again, no, like, are you really good? Or are you really good? And they should get the hint when you ask them, like, what's really going on? And see, I got a good friend, and I know I said this before, and I'll say it again, but I got a good friend of mine that I went to undergrad with who is really good about asking these questions. It was interesting because I haven't seen him for years. And then I went to church and he was there and he was like, it's been a long time. Like, how are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. He goes, like, are you really good? Or like, are you good? Like, what does that mean? And then we start to talk. and catch up. And I learned this from him, to really try to just dig deep and get that response out of someone to see where they're truly at. Because a simple text message, a simple check-in with someone goes a long way, because you don't know where someone is at mentally, and what that text message that says, hey, I'm just checking in on you, what that text message truly means to that person. That check-in can mean a life-changing event for someone, because that someone sees that there's someone out there that still truly loves and cares for them. To all my sports enthusiasts out there, to all my athletes out there, take the time to rest. Take the time to recover. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you're about to panic or whatever, drink some water, breathe, relax, take some time away if you have to, and then come back in. Do what you got to do that is best for you and your family. I just wonder how different life would be for the Dallas Cowboys player who committed suicide, because he was battling mental health for some time now, since I believe 10th grade. And he was only 24 when he took his own life. But just think, if he had someone in his corner that would check in and say, hey, how are you doing? And when he responds with, oh, I'm good, to ask that question again. Like, hey, how are you doing? Like, are you really good? Because that could have changed his life around. And he might still have been here today if someone, and not saying that no one did it, but if someone actually truly listened to his problems and what was going on in his life, I think he would still be here today. Hands down, guaranteed. But see, the society is all about, what can I get out of it? What is it? What's in it for me? It's literally the mindset of a lot of people, is, what can I get out of it? What's in it for me? Instead of, man, this person, I might not like this person at all, and that person really struggling. But even though I don't like them, I care more about that man's mental health than I do $5 that he owed me. See, that mindset that you have, it means a lot. It shows the type of character you have as a person. It shows how mature you are. It shows that you genuinely care about people more than the materialistic things of this world. But again, I challenge you guys to go above and beyond and check in with someone. See how they truly doing. Remember, guys, you matter beyond the scoreboard. Take care of your mind. Support your teammates. Support each other, and don't carry everything alone. You are not alone in this. You don't fight this battle alone. We win this battle together, on and off the court. No matter what, I am my brother's keeper. And no matter what, I will always have my brother's back. And if my brothers come to me and they say, I need someone to sit down and talk to and listen, best believe I'm going to drop everything. and talk and listen to them and give them advice as best as I can. So you guys have a great rest of your night. Continue to stay blessed. Continue to stay classy. And thank you all for tuning in on this week's episode of Mental Health Monday. Have a great night.